Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful morning here, or evening, potentially where you are. Bitcoin's broken into new all-time highs, so we're just going to be taking a look at the charts and some of the rest of the market that goes right alongside that. Diving in, here is the 6-hour chart we've been following for quite some time. If we zoom in, we have this beautiful reaccumulation channel that started to take place. Now, for those of you that don't know or haven't been following along, reaccumulation channels are something that we are really excited about because they look like this. This is one of the Arcane Bears reaccumulation schematics, part of our private group's informational package where we try to teach everyone how to keep an eye out for these things. And effectively, this is what we've seen for the last few months in Bitcoin. As we ran up into the new all-time previous resistance, we've been in this reaccumulation channel for approximately 66 days. This last week here specifically, this was actually a really nice rising gradient bottom. Now, I had trouble with this one. Most of the time in the middle of the box after the spring, I look for reaccumulations that are perfectly horizontal, and I try to ignore these rising gradient bottoms. But if you look, we actually saw an artifact or a reflection of this rising gradient bottom both here and here throughout the structural cycle. So these are generally what we're looking for is repeating kind of infinite patterns. And this is one of the ones where after the spring, you usually get a reaccumulation of some kind. This particular time, the reaccumulation did go into a rising gradient bottom. Now, I suspect that what we're going to get is probably one last final chance to dance here where we have some type of backup phase of small little reaccumulation outside the box, and then we go probably straight to around $130,000 to $150,000. Now, we had made some target estimates with this before, even based off just the trading range that we are in right now. The 2618 and the 4326 go all the way upwards of $130,000 to $160,000. So on just this trading range alone, from where we are at the moment, we're going to go pretty easily to 120,000. I actually suspect that we might see the horizontal trading range accumulate here. So using our Fibonacci sequence, the 4236 up at 150, 2618 at 130, and right now we are already between the 1271 and the 1618, which are pretty standard for the movement cycle to the upside. So the other thing we can do here is actually just look at the bottom of the range, which is another thing we like to do. Take a look at the range from the cycle low, the reaccumulation channel slightly before, and that also has us upwards of around 146,000. So it seems likely that there is a move towards 146,000 pretty easily, I think, without too much trouble. We're going to get into that area. So keeping a really close eye on these things as we move forward. But nonetheless, just being patient, as the market's always kind of been interesting to try to predict. These horizontal trading ranges have been the best way, I think, to do so. I don't think anything that's come even close, whether you're looking at head and shoulders or cup and handles, unless you're looking at those variations through a horizontal trading range, I don't think you really know what you're doing. But nonetheless, here we see a perfect reaccumulation range, not too deep of a spring. I would actually compare it more to schematic 2 than some of the other deeper springs like we see in schematic 1, for example. Although this is not too far off. Bang, 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 so with a spring down here, and then pretty much a straight up move through the center. That jump across the creek here, the test of the creek. Let's see, I can turn the bear claw on and the VPVR to also give us some more data. Here you can see the move across the creek was the jump, and the follow back up of the 200 simple 6-hour moving average. So what's next? Looking for a backup and then a continuation into new all-time highs, probably day over day for the next little bit. This is usually the most exciting, and also the finality of the bull market, I think, is about to ensue. So that means the next videos that we look at, which are going to be focused primarily on altcoins, we'll go over. But for now, just diving a little bit deeper into Bitcoin, there is reason to believe here, shout out to our friends from Bitcoin Magazine Pro, the stock to flow model has us upwards of around $300,000 for Bitcoin's price. I suspect that we draw down below that If you look at the heat map here, we are approximately starting to enter the yellow, and then into the green, which is usually where the market cycle kind of ends. As you can see here, into the yellow and green is kind of top territory. Yeah, it's usually this kind of bright pink green, this bright neon green here, twice in a row here, neon green, neon green. We're just starting to enter that neon green phase now. So this is the finality of the bull market from what I can tell. Again, the most exciting, the most lucrative time with the least amount of effort to be in the market, I think is going to be happening over the next little bit. So between our Wyckoff trading ranges, these beautiful accumulation ranges, what the stock to flow model has to say, and some other variations on where the market is right now. The idea that the S&P 500 has been breaking into new all-time highs. Again, just a quick little run over. We see most alts at the moment going through some type of reaccumulation and breakout phase too. So here's SUI, this long descending reaccumulation, first sign of the breakout. Solana, first sign of the breakout. Link, again, after the bottom of its reaccumulation with a nice horizontal channel right here. Again, Fetch, same kind of thing. These all appear to be springs and tests that have taken place on Link and Fetch. Tau, also same story. Spring, test, going into the first start of the breakout. Bitcoin, though, has been clearly the winner. I think from a trading standpoint, the market signal here is just cleaner. These horizontal trading ranges have been basically perfect. And this is due to the significant amounts of capital that are being traded here in comparison to the others. I've almost given up doing big trades on any of the other assets, which I was doing more of back in the day because there was a lot more percentage gains to be had, but with bigger positions, the liquidity of the markets, it's easier just to trade Bitcoin's trading ranges, and much more reliable, I think, as well. I've seen total failures of the trading range. Tau is a great example of that, where we had breakdowns in SUI too. We had total breakdowns of the trading range, all to return to almost all the way to where the initial part of this market started. Whereas with Bitcoin, it's just only up still. We didn't have those big retracements. So although it's only 45% up from that previous high, versus where SUI from the first part of this market cycle movement is now up 62% and was up approximately 100% at one point. The volatility within these trading ranges is just too hard for me to keep track of as in comparison with just trading the beautiful ranges that are built up in Bitcoin. So I've shifted some of my style. I still think there's possibilities with things like Tau. Asai especially has been a hyper mover within this market. And actually the trading range that's formed the last few days is actually really beautiful. This looks like a beautiful horizontal reaccumulation range. I suspect Psy is going to lead the altcoin market probably by a significant amount. This looks like one of the biggest runners to me. And just alone in the last 24 hours. We've had a 20% upstroke. So again, if you compare Bitcoin, we're up 5% in the last 24 hours versus Psy up 20% in the last 4 hours. I would prefer less upside for more stability and reliability in the trading range itself. It just means it's easier to sleep at night if you do have a bigger position. Anyways, I'm going to make a few more videos. I want to go over the 80,000 Bitcoin that was moved. I think that's a very significant topic. I want to talk about alt season in my next video, and then I want to start doing individual altcoin videos as well. So we're also reviving the newsletter, so you'll be able to either purchase the newsletter or the upsell version, which is access to the Discord group. We hadn't had those separated before. I'm going to be running, So if you haven't signed up yet, give it a shot. And well, you know the drill. But I'm going to start making videos consistently again. I've been taking some, personal time. You guys know me. For all of you that have known me, like I'm all over the map sometimes. But that's what's made me successful, is my ability to kind of branch out, try new things, be creative, and run all over the playing board to try to figure out how things work. So we'll keep that in mind. Steel with the Arcane Bear. I hope you guys are enjoying the Bitcoin's new all-time high. I suspect that that's going to continue for quite some time. And I should have started with that. I think that was we just finished the LPS range and we're about to go into full breakout mode. So the again, we have upwards of $300,000 for the stock to flow model. So we might be going a lot higher from where we are today. I'm just going to start doing more videos because there's a ton of data that's running through my mind that I want to share with you guys, but I don't want to clog up too much time in one video. So I'm just going to start producing videos all the time again. Anyways, so we're at 2 with the Arcane Bear. Thanks for joining us. See you guys again in the next episode.